Ruud van Nistelrooy's unbeaten run as Manchester United's interim manager faces a big test in the Europa League against Greek side PAOK. With a chance to finally get that first European win this season, it seems like the pressure is on, doesn't it? Absolutely. United have been a bit shaky in Europe with Erik Ten Hag's 3 games ending in score draws. It's unusual to see United without a win after 3 matches, so Ruud will really want to deliver a solid performance and secure that first victory. Over the weekend, United faced Chelsea and came away with a point. It wasn't exactly the most thrilling game, was it? No, it wasn't. It was more of a tactical battle than anything else. Rashford had the best chance in the first half, hitting the post. Then Bruno Fernandes stepped up after the interval and scored from the penalty spot. But Moises Caicedo quickly cancelled it out with a stunning goal. A lot of fans felt it was a bit underwhelming overall. The injury front has been a bit kinder to United recently. No major fresh concerns, which is a relief for fans, I'm sure. Definitely, United's squad has had more than its fair share of injuries this season, so avoiding new setbacks is a huge positive. Plus, there's some optimism about several players coming back just in time for Ruben Amorim's arrival as the new head coach. This could give the squad a big boost in the coming weeks. Speaking of returns, let's talk about Yoro. His injury was a big blow for United early on, wasn't it? It was massive. Yoro fractured his metatarsal during the first game of United's preseason tour in the US. Back in July, which was a tough setback, he had surgery in early August, and United's medical team estimated about 3 months of recovery. Since then, he's been pushing hard, even walking without crutches by early September, but the club's being cautious. They won't rush him back into competitive action. So what's the latest on his return? The good news is that he's making steady progress. He's been working out at Carrington, building up his strength. According to reports, Yoro is expected to rejoin the squad after the international break, so fans might see him on the field as early as November 24th against Ipswich Town. But again, his return will be carefully managed to avoid any risk of re-injury. Another name United fans are eager to see back is Mainoo. What's the latest with his injury? Mainoo's been out for a few weeks now after picking up a muscle injury during United's 0-0 draw with Villa. It was unfortunate because he's shown real promise this season. Ten Hag mentioned he'd likely be out for a couple of weeks, and we didn't see him against Chelsea. But the good news is he could make a return before the November international break. His next possible match could be against Leicester on November 9th, which is just around the corner. It'll be a big boost to have him back in midfield. Another player fans have been waiting on is Mason Mount. He's missed quite a bit of action too, right? That's right, Mount has been sidelined for 6 games after taking a knock that required stitches against Spurs. It's been frustrating not to have him, especially since he was starting to settle in. The club hinted before the Fenerbahce match that Mount might be out a bit longer than initially thought, but he's back in training now, so things are looking positive. His target return date is also around November 24th, just in time for the Ipswich match. So, with Mainoo potentially returning next week and Mount by late November, it sounds like the squad is gradually regaining strength. Absolutely. Timing couldn't be better, especially with important games ahead in the Europa League and the Premier League. It sounds like there's a cautious optimism around United right now. Key players returning, a big European clash coming up, and a new head coach soon. How do you see the team evolving in the weeks ahead? If United can build some momentum with the right results, especially in Europe, we could see a real shift. Injuries have hurt consistency, but with players like Yoro, Mainoo, and Mount returning, it might be the fresh start they need. And with Ruben Amorim taking over soon, he'll have a near full strength squad to work with. If they can capitalize on this, it could be a turning point in the season. Now, looking at the defensive situation, Harry Maguire's injury has also kept him out for a few matches now. Let's take a look at his current status. Maguire has been out since that Villa game just before the international break, where he was forced to leave the pitch with what looked like a serious foot injury. He needed help from the medical team to get off, and Matthijs de Ligt came on as his replacement. Maguire did mention on social media that he'd be out for a few weeks, and Ten Hag confirmed this timeline, so we're looking at a likely return sometime in November, though no exact date is set. And then there's Luke Shaw, who's had quite a long road to recovery. What's going on with him? Shaw's situation is quite complex. He's been out for 8 months now, which is tough for any player, especially someone as crucial to United's defence as he is. He was initially expected back in September, but after a setback, his recovery slowed down. Ten Hag recently admitted things haven't gone as expected and that they're being extra cautious with him. They don't want him back too soon only to face another setback, so for now, his return date is up in the air. We're all hoping for the best, but there's no telling when he'll be fully ready. That's rough, but understandable that they're being careful. And then we have Christian Eriksen, who missed the last match but hasn't been given a detailed injury update. Eriksen's absence is a bit of a mystery. He wasn't on the squad list against Leicester, and fans noticed him watching from the director's box. Ruud van Nistelrooy has commented that they're working hard to get him back in the squad, and that Eriksen himself is pushing to be fit. It sounds like a minor injury, but with no official timeline, it's uncertain if he'll be back for the upcoming fixtures. Moving on, Antony's injury looked pretty rough. Let's look at the latest update on him. Antony's injury was a bit dramatic. He had to be stretchered off after only about 16 minutes on the field against Fenerbahce, and he was seen leaving the stadium on crutches with a protective boot on his left leg. The club later confirmed it was a sprained ankle. Unfortunately, he's missed the games against West Ham, Leicester, and Chelsea, but there's still no set timeline for his return. With an injury like that, it's hard to predict exactly when he'll be back. Definitely sounds like it could take some time. Now, Tyrell Malaysia was also expected back sometime in October. Here's what's going on there. Malaysia's situation is a bit unclear as well. He's been training with the first team recently, so there was a lot of hope that he'd make his comeback sooner. Back in August, Ten Hag mentioned he was close to rejoining the team in training, potentially around October. But October's come and gone, and there hasn't been an update since. Hopefully he'll be ready soon, but we're still waiting for more specifics. Let's talk about Toby Collier. He's a young player, and it sounds like he's also dealing with an injury. That's right, Ten Hag mentioned Collier's absence when Jack Fletcher stepped into the squad for the Brentford game. He didn't give much detail about the injury, but the Manchester Evening News reported that Collier is expected to be out for roughly a month. So, best case, he could be back in December. Not ideal timing, but at least it's not an extended absence. With a bit of luck on the injury front and a potential win in Europe on the horizon, things could be looking up for United. Exactly. It feels like a crucial time for United to turn things around. A win against PAOK could be the spark they need to regain confidence, and with players like Yoro nearing a comeback, the squad should only get stronger. Fans will be keeping a close watch on Thursday's game and of course Yoro's progress. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.